The couch gag is one of the great hallmarks of The Simpsons. Put on any episode and you're immediately greeted with this clever little gag. Sometimes slapstick, sometimes a pop culture reference, sometimes a short sketch. Often these get used over and over again and become familiar favorites. For others, they're a unique hidden gem among hundreds of episodes. Today, we're going to look at the chaotic world of Simpsons couch gags. How did they change over time? When did they go out of fashion? And of course, how many couch gags are there? In some ways, The Simpsons couch gag is the exact opposite of the intro sequence. The intro is this static sequence of scenes, where the only difference is the combinations and small tweaks. It's all about editing something over and over again. Whereas couch gags are entirely random. Every year, they make a bunch of these things, and then seemingly drop them haphazardly into episodes. Oh, we made this one where the couch deflates? Let's put it in Itchy and Scratchy the movie. It wouldn't make any sense before Marge gets a job. Of course not. Yeah, the actual decision-making process behind these things is a little opaque. So first, let's go over their history, see how they evolved, and then we'll confuse ourselves with statistics and odd production decisions. The very first couch gag aired in episode 2, Bart the Genius, since Simpsons Roasting opened with a title card instead. The family runs in, Bart pops into the air, falls in front of the TV. Kind of an unusual first example, as they almost never add animation during the TV part. The rest of Season 1 was much more mundane. Various characters popping off the couch, or nothing happens. Huh. Throughout Seasons 2 and 3, things got more varied and slapsticky. They'll play with the couch itself more, with it falling through the floor, falling sideways, falling backward, whatever. Sometimes they encounter an unexpected visitor, like Grandpa, an alien, some robbers, or even no couch at all. They loved using the pets in this era, sitting with them, sitting on them, or being growled at. Their jokes tended to play upon the unexpected, more situation comedy oriented. I would say Season 4 is the first turning point, as couch gags got considerably more cartoony and outlandish. Instead of just seeing an alien, now a couch monster eats them. Surreal gags like running off the film strip, the whole family being tiny, or having the wrong heads. Here's their first pop culture reference gag, when the Simpsons meet the Flintstones. Season 4 features the first Treehouse of Horror gag, a tradition they kept going all the way through Season 11. They gave us skeletons and zombies and Frankenstein monsters. They even kept doing these spooky gags even after getting rid of the Halloween intro. It's kind of weird structurally, cause they're just opening with some unrelated joke and then randomly cutting to the couch. It's a little jarring. I can see why they stopped in Season 12 and just let the opening be its own thing. Anyway, Season 4 also introduced the Circus couch gag, aka the "holy crap, this episode ran short, let's fill some time" couch gag. We're gonna go over the statistics later, but this is the couch gag used in the most Simpsons episodes. It was used for Lisa's First Word, I Love Lisa, The Front, Cape Fear, Fear of Flying, Monty Can't Buy Me Love, Simpsons Safari, and the Bart Wants What It Wants. Also, according to the Simpsons wiki, they would occasionally swap this one in for syndication cuts. Which strikes me as weird, because you'd think they would want shorter gags so they don't have to cut down the episode so much. Somewhere Mike Scully is crying. Stylistically, after Season 4, couch gags don't evolve much. Things definitely got more referential in general, doing direct homages like Star Trek, Monty Python, James Bond, The Brady Bunch, or Sgt. Pepper. Season 5 starts off weird, with this Take 1, Take 2, Take 3 compilation, featuring jokes that'll be seen later that year. They did a special couch gag celebrating the conclusion of Who Shot Mr. Burns, a montage for the 138th episode spectacular. Season 9's Realty Bites features the first live-action element, when a hand appears and spins around the whole screen. Season 9 also started testing the boundaries of how long a couch gag can be. Typically, they run about 9 to 11 seconds long, including the shot of the TV. However, in Simpson Tide, we got the Rocky and Bullwinkle homage, running 16 seconds in total. Not that much longer in the grand scheme of things, but clearly they are experimenting. In season 14, they stretched things even further with this 23-second Get Smart homage. However, I would argue that the first quote-unquote extended couch gag happened 1 year later, when we got the big zoom out, going all the way through the cosmos and ending back at the couch again. It takes 52 seconds in total. Now, these extended gags didn't take over the show or anything initially, just one per year. Couch monsters taking over Springfield, the evolution of man, a medieval storybook war over the couch. The next big shift happened during the transition to HD, halfway through season 20. Then we started getting 4 or 5 extended gags per year, as well as a few repeats. Like season 20 alone had the Simpsons chasing the couch around the world, them walking through TV history, the death of the couch, and a Simpsons-inspired 5-course meal. These extended gags did add a freshness to this old concept. Like, there's only so much you can do with the family running into this room over and over again. They could now go to new set pieces, do extensive homages, and include narrative elements. However, the downside was that the actual episodes themselves, the story between the credits, got smaller and smaller during this era. Unlike in seasons 18 and 19, that would use the driveway cut or a chalkboard cut, now they were often running the full HD credits too. So an episode like Take My Life Please doesn't start until nearly the 2-minute mark. And considering they lost about a minute of runtime since the classic era due to more commercials, many of the actual stories are only 18-something minutes long. Fun fact, this project actually began as an analysis of episode lengths, and evolved into the openers and couch gags. I'll sprinkle some of that data into this video. The point is that these extended gags did result in the writers having less time to tell their stories. Scripts would be slightly shorter overall. I do remember some grumblings from fans during this era, where it seemed like every episode would have this giant unrelated preamble before actually starting. In season 22, they also started inviting guest animators and crossovers for these extended gags. These include Banksy, Some Guy, Bill Plimpton, Robot Chicken, Guillermo del Toro, Sylvain Chomet, Michael Sosha, Don Hertzfeldt, Paul Robertson and Ivan Dixon, Rick and Morty, Bob's Burgers, Eric Goldberg, Jacob's Food Diaries, Stupid Buddy Studios, and many, many others. Each brought a new creative vision, whether it be visual style, commentary, or format. Because of how untraditional many are, the line started blurring as to how Simpsons episodes should open. For example, in a couple instances, we'd get a full animated short by The Simpsons instead. Are Fat and Musicville couch gags? Arguably, there's something else because they don't feature the couch and don't resemble the traditional format. But things have evolved so much that these are still considered couch gags in The Simpsons canon. Much like the opening sequence, the decline of The Simpsons couch gag can be attributed to season 32. This makes sense. As they did fewer openers, they would do fewer couch gags. Instead of 10 to 15 per year, we would get just a handful. I'm not sure exactly what prompted this change. Perhaps Simpsons production was burning out from having to come up with so many each year. I would also guess that maybe the writers wanted some of their runtime back to let their scripts breathe more. Whatever the case is, the couch gags have become a rarity in modern Simpsons. To illustrate this change, let's move to the pointless Simpsons statistics segment of this video, everyone's favorite. I looked up all this stuff, and now you gotta hear about it. Let's start out by looking at the totals. By my count, through season 36, there are a total of 464 different couch gags that aired at the beginning of episodes. This does not include the ones inserted into the middle of the story, like in Cape Fear, The Heart Broke Kid, and Bart's Brain. There are another 7 of these in total, if you want to throw them in. There are a bunch of custom couch gags in Simpsons DVDs too, season 5 in particular. I'm more interested in the ones aired at the beginning of the episodes, but obviously there's a bunch of extra stuff out there. This 464 number includes 3 couch gags that were only shown during the initial airing and cannot be seen on Disney+. Season 17's Homer Simpson This Is Your Wife had the live-action opener with the live-action couch gag. Season 24's Gorgeous Grandpa had the Homer Shake couch gag. Remember the Harlem Shake, guys? And Season 24's Dangers on a Train had a special version for the Canadian broadcast only. Everyone else got this one instead. Next, let's look at the seasonal breakdown. Here are all 36 seasons on the x-axis. And here are how many couch gags were produced each year. As you can see, for a while, The Simpsons did make more and more new couch gags per year. Like obviously, Season 1 was an outlier, as only 13 total episodes were produced. Then through the classic era and the teen seasons, they'd make 12 to 15. During the HD era shift, it's clear that these became a priority in the production process. In the mid-20s, we the audience would be greeted with a brand new couch gag in nearly every episode. Looking at this graph, maybe it was burnout that killed these things. They were making so many for so many consecutive years. I wouldn't be surprised if the producers got together and were like, look, we gotta start cutting these back. Out of 790 total Simpsons episodes, 644 of them open with some kind of couch gag, about 81.5%. Honestly thought it would be lower given the past few years. Throughout the first 10 seasons, there are only 8 episodes that don't open with a couch gag. 3 from Season 1, the first 2 Treehouse of Horrors, Sideshow Bob Roberts, 22 short films, and the Simpsons spin-off Showcase. Of the 464 different couch gags, 306 of them aired exactly once. That's actually cool to think about, that there are over 300 of these things that we enjoyed once and never saw again, just disappeared into the night, hidden in the depths of Disney+. As mentioned earlier, the Circus couch gag was the most repeated, used 8 times. In second place are the classic era gag where they fall through the floor, more on this later, and The Simpsons traveling through the TV eras. Starting in season 24 through today, The Simpsons never reran any couch gag. Every single one was new, with one exception. For some reason, in season 30's Do Canada, they went back to The Simpsons through the TV eras. Now, there are 4 that are heavily based on previous work or modified that fall in a gray area. In season 36, they remade Couch Gag Chaos from season 21. This time with all the Simpsons entering the playfield at first, and Homer ending up in the power plant. In season 33, they reran the Potato Print couch gag from the previous year, except this time removing the final bit with the couch. In season 25, they did this one based on the Game of Life, except when repeating it in season 26, they changed the ending to Grandpa, making it technically a new version. I prefer the original ending. And in season 32, they remade the old skeletal cells gag, all the way back from season 24. What's that, you say? That this is exactly the same? Oh no, you see, this time they changed the donut in Homer's hand. I have absolutely no idea why they bothered to do this, but like the Game of Life, I'm counting them based on new animation cuts, so I guess this is a different gag. I guess. There are actually more versions you could count if you factor in different dubs and ADR lines, but they are generally considered reruns due to the exact same animation being used again. As for how the couch gags were rotated and rerun, well, that is utter chaos, and I can't explain that either. But let's try. So, in season 1, there were 5 couch gags for 10 episode slots. They went Bart pops off, the couch falls apart, Homer pops off, Maggie pops off, and nothing happens. Then they ran those 5 again in the same order. Very clean, very orderly, very logical. I approve. Season 2 produced 10 couch gags for 21 slots. It went fall through floor, Egypt dance, roll out couch, Maggie and hair, pets with them, grandpa on couch, couch falls over, no couch, Family Collision, and Couch Falls Backwards. Then they aired all 10 again in the same order, and for the 21st slot, went back to the top of the order again. Once again, very orderly, I approve. However, Season 2 had 2 holdovers, When Flanders Failed and Stark Raving Dad, in that production order. So, for Season 3, they continued the Season 2 order, and did the Egypt dance for When Flanders Failed, the 3rd episode of the season. However, for the premiere, Stark Raving Dad, they started with the Season 3 sequence. They went right in a row and just left When Flanders Failed the way it was. This is extremely unusual, as couch gags are always assigned by season and not production run. All of the other holdover episodes would start the new season set of gags, only this one breaks the rule. Also, for some reason, in Season 3, they saved a new couch gag for Homer at the Bat in a sea of reruns. Radio Bart's and this one are the first 2 couch gags that never got reran in any other episode. Going forward, there is very little rhyme or reason why certain gags got rerun, why some didn't, and in what order. Typically, in the early days, they would just air all the new ones to open the season, and then the back half would just be a mix and match of, I don't know, the showrunner's favorites. In the classic era, there is one bizarre exception, and I have no idea why. So Season 4 had a new couch gag in every episode, from Camp Krusty to Selma's Choice. However, New Kid on the Block, for some reason, does the fall through floor gag from Season 2, its 4th time appearing. Here's the other weird thing about this episode. It is almost a minute shorter than every other Season 4 example. The closing credits start around the 21-minute mark, instead of around the 22 mark like everything else. I have no idea what is up with this, why it's so short, and why they reuse the old Season 2 gag. Maybe Conan O'Brien stole a couch gag and a minute of footage and wouldn't give it back? I can't explain it. Can you? The shortest couch gag in Simpsons history was in Season 30's The Girls in the Band, which is about 3 seconds long. Wow, I've been talking about this episode a lot lately. The longest one is Rick and Morty, clocking in at 2 minutes 13 seconds, if you include the TV part. Not including the TV, the longest is Musicville at 2:08. But even that one includes credit cards. Then you have the crochet opener from Season 34 at 2 minutes even, and then Don Hertzfeldt from the Season 26 premiere at 1:58. This episode also holds the record for the latest start time for the actual story. Act 1 doesn't start until the 2:48 mark. Dang. Clown in the Dumps is actually the shortest story in Simpsons history, at about 17.5 minutes long, narrowly beating out Season 18's Homerazzi. I guess they didn't want to dwell too long on poor Rabbi Krastovsky's shocking death. Now, I've thrown a lot of statistics at you. We are in the 4th or 5th circle of Simpsons nerdery here. So let's dial it back and talk about our beloved favorites and petty grievances. After watching every one of these, I have found that I have 3 pet peeves when it comes to couch gags. Some formulas that they do over and over again that get pretty old. Number 1, so many football gags. I love American football, and I know it was often their lead-in, but my god, we don't need 6 of these things. The last one is literally them just sitting down and being cheered by the crowd. Okay. Number 2, couch gags that don't prominently feature the couch. They've done so many cool, elaborate homages, but come on, these are couch gags. Why are they just doing this scene from Bohemian Rhapsody? Yeah, I see the couch in the crowd, but still. Sometimes references can feel indulgent, that it's less of a joke and more about the Simpsons just playing dress up. Number 3, and here is my biggest one. Homer saying dough at the end of the couch gag. In later Simpsons, like around Season 25, they constantly do this, where the joke is always some folly happening to Homer, and it always ends with him saying dough. I don't know why this bugs me so much, it's just so formulaic and repetitive after a while. I mean, I can relate. I literally end all my videos with, as always, thanks for watching, because I don't know how to end them without being like, this video is now over, goodbye. Endings are hard, especially capping off your jokes. It's just, once you notice it, you start waiting for it. Next, let's hit up some major highlights, various couch gags that jumped out to me. And, just so that we're not here all day, I'm going to limit it to 10 from the standard def era, and then do 10 from the HD era. This is all in random order, by the way. I'm just picking out random cool stuff. Number 1. The Simpsons run off the film strip. Very meta, very duck-amuck, some awesome character expressions. Although it's weird how Lisa just magically appears on the couch afterward. Number 2. The Batman couch gag. This one is super simple. I just like the character designs, how they go down the fireman pole, and boom, Bat Family. Number 3. The anime couch gag. This actually aired right after the Batman one, and I'm not even that familiar with Ultraman and Sailor Moon and stuff. I just think the designs and movement are cool. Number 4. The Escher drawing. I've always loved Escher stuff, and seeing them all come from different directions is so visually striking. Number 5. They keep chasing the couch into the distance. This is here for its simplicity. Just, whoop, there they go. Number 6. Gumby. This one is super cute. The claymation and then how Gumby smiles and waves to them at the end. Lovely. Number 7. The Evolution opener. This is my favorite of the SD extended gags. So many great designs and jokes in here. Bye, Mo. Number 8. Where the parents and kids role reverse. Funny designs, and I just think Homer's little frown is so funny when Lisa takes the remote. Number 9. The Mouse Family. They ran this only once, and it always catches me off guard, that quick zoom into the mouse hole. So jarring and interesting. And number 10. Rocky and Bullwinkle. Whatever, I'm nostalgic. I watched old reruns of Moose and Squirrel all the time, and The Simpsons nailed it. For these HD picks, I'm going to list the episode next to them and in the video description, because many of these are quite long and are hidden gems worth looking up. Number 1. Lazy Rider. My god, this one is cool. It is so stylized and has so many of our favorite characters in here. I wish this could somehow be a whole episode. Number 2. Michael Susha's couch gag. I totally forgot how good this was. The stark reds and whites and blacks are so gorgeous. Might be my favorite couch gag visually. It's stunning. Same with number 3, the VR couch gag. This time bathing the stylized characters in beautiful blues. Some amazing POV shots and action in this one. Number 4, IKEA. This might be the cutest couch gag of all time. So many simple, adorable drawings that perfectly convey Homer's confusing step-by-step process. Number 5, Bill Plimpton couch gag number 5. I'm going with this one for him. I just enjoy seeing them drawn by all 5 family members, the way it pans up to the next character's versions. Super charming. Number 6, Itchy and Scratchy. This one rules. How they save Scratchy, and then how Homer gradually gets sick of his houseguest. Who knew that Scratchy was such a sponge? Number 7, Adventure Time. The original opening is a classic, and The Simpsons do a wonderful job with it. Just these 2 title cards alone make it worth it. Number 8, Spiker Monster's couch gag. I gotta put this one here just because I got to do the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. So cool that his designs made it onto the show. Number 9, Eric Goldberg Disney. This one falls into my pet peeve of The Simpsons just trying on different clothes, but it's so well animated that they totally win me over. And number 10, of course, the Don Hertzfeldt couch gag. Look, there's an entire video essay about this thing that explains it more articulately than I could, so I will defer to them. Like I said earlier, there are so many cool ones that I wanted to mention, but I'll leave it there for now. Let me know in the comments what your faves are and the hidden gems that I overlooked. I admit, I was one of those grouchy fans during the mid-20s who got tired of waiting 2 full minutes for the episode to start, and I don't necessarily mind that they phased them out recently. I do think that the pacing of episodes have improved, and the stories feel better told in general, with the extra runtime. At the same time, doing this project did make me fall in love with couch gags again. They really did give us so many hilarious jokes and moments of visual splendor to enjoy. I made fun of Clown in the Dumps for being so short narratively, but I would rather have those 2 minutes give me something so radically new and different. They're not cheating us, they're just giving us something new to enjoy. Like with the opening credits, you never know what you're gonna get when putting on a Simpsons episode. It gives the writers and animators this little bit of space to do whatever they want, independent of the episode. I suppose we don't need couch gags in every episode of 30 frickin' 7. I think they are hitting a nice balance of making these couch gags feel like special events these days. What I hope is that they go for quality over quantity, that they make every couch gag count. This video is now over. Goodbye.